So, what are 6 different ways to actually stop working a minimum wage job and to start making more money instead of working and surviving every single paycheck and every time you get paid? Now, we all know that in the East Coast, for example, New York, the minimum wage is around $15 an hour. However, the average across the board in the US is around $7.25 for minimum wage, which is extremely low if you ask me. Now, in the West Coast, California, it is around $12. Now, if you ask me, Tommy, the last time I worked a minimum wage job, guys, in New York, I was actually making around $8.75. Okay, now to me back then, that was a lot of money. You know, it was like my first job in the US. I was like, okay, this is kind of decent. I was like $1,000 every single month. I was like, this is awesome. Now, every time I spent money on one t-shirt, it was the equivalent of almost 1 hour. So for example, if I bought this t-shirt or this hoodie right here for $10, well, that was 1 hour, well, a little bit more than 1 hour of my time every time I bought anything, which is extremely crazy if you ask me, okay? So basically, I was trading time for money way too heavily at not the best price, okay? So now, in this video, I'm gonna try to break down exactly the 6 ways that I took to actually go from that $8.75 to actually making a little bit over $10,000 a month currently every single month. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is Ty Bryson. I'm an accountant and I upload videos on YouTube every single day. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, do me a favor and smash the like button. Really appreciate it. And here's a question for you guys, okay? How much money do you currently make from your minimum wage job or your normal job per hour? Comment down below and also let me know how much money do you want to make per hour in the future. Now, if you ask me, guys, my number has always been, for the longest time ever, has always been around $115 an hour that I wanted to make every single hour, even while I slept or while I was on vacation, every single hour of the day, the entire year. Now tell me, why is that? Well, the answer is in the pudding, my friends, okay? So for example, $1 million divided by 365, divided by 24 hours, well, that is 115 or so. That means that if I made that money every single hour of the day, I would make around $1 million. Currently, tell me, how much do you make? Well, currently I make around $21. It does fluctuate every now and then, but $21 every single hour of the day, no matter what. So daily, well, daily it's around 21 times 12. Well, 24, sorry about that, which is actually around $504 per day. On average, not really. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. It all depends, okay? So I've come a long way, and that's why I'm here to share with you guys these 6 steps that I actually took. Now, let's get into it, guys. Now, the first step I want you guys to follow is this one, okay? It's very simple. Now, I know that everyone out there does not want to quit their job because some people, believe it or not, they actually love their job, even if it's minimum wage. However, you do deserve to get paid a little bit more. So how do I do this, okay? Well, the answer is, it's okay to go out there and ask for a raise. So for example, if you're at work, your employers know you're doing a great job, your coworkers know you're doing a great job, then once you know that you're actually doing a great job, going beyond and behold, well, the second step I want you to take, guys, is actually go out there. You know you're doing a great job. I want you to go research jobs in your market area with the skills you actually have and see exactly where the price for that employee actually ranges. For example, if you work in a kitchen and you know people get paid around $15, look in another neighborhood, another area that actually gets paid a little bit more and go to your employer and it's like, hey, I noticed that, employers or employees working this job get paid between X to X. By the way, always say the highest number first. That way if there's like, $18 on one side versus $15 that you get paid, be like, hey, I know they get paid between $18 to $20. That way when they negotiate with you, they negotiate down to 18 and not down to even lower than that, okay? So I always want to put like your bargaining tool as the lowest point and then the highest tool as the, if they say yes, that's awesome, but I'm actually looking for the lowest one, which is actually in this case $18, okay? Now, tell me what's next. If they say no, if they say yes. Well, if they say yes, you got a raise, which is awesome, so say goodbye to minimum wage. Now, if they said no, it's okay. Ask when can we sit down and talk about it again. And also, since you did research already, you can actually start applying for those other jobs out there in the market. Now, the ultimate tip is this, guys, okay? Don't be shy to ask for a raise. If you deserve it, if you do a great job, you do your research, and you actually are a good employee, well, you deserve to get a raise. So don't be shy, don't be scared. You deserve it. And if the employer doesn't appreciate you, then it might be time to move on to another job. Do the same exact thing if you love your job. You just go there, you work there for a higher raise, is actually worth more of your time. Okay, now step number 2, guys. Okay, I want you guys to focus on asking about the corporate ladder. Now tell me, what is this? Every company has a structure. For example, at Starbucks, you might start as a barista, then a manager, then a regional manager. The next thing you know, like you're like the manager of the regional manager, and step by step you keep climbing this ladder, and so does your income actually climb. So tell me, how do I do this? Okay, well, when you go to an interview and they're like, hey, Tommy, Jimmy, Billy, whatever your name is, okay, and they say like, hey, where are you looking to be in the next 5 years? You might say this, okay? You might say like, you know what? I'm looking to be in the next 5 years in this company, working right here. Well, say this, okay? Say, well, I'm looking to climb the corporate ladder of your company and step by step be contributing more and more of my skills towards your company. Now, once you find out exactly what the corporate ladder is, that means that there is room to grow in this entire company. So for example, I know at Starbucks, you can start as a barista or a clerk, whatever you want to call it, and step by step, you keep climbing and climbing and climbing until you might reach a pinnacle, and then you start getting paid a ton of money, okay? So that's not that bad at all if you ask me. Now, once you find out exactly what the structure actually is, and now you want to make sure you're friends and actually start building relationships with the people that can promote you to this position. Now, Tommy, are you saying to manipulate these people? The answer is no. I get it. You want to be friends with your coworkers. That's good too. But you also want to be friends with the people that can actually help you grow step by step. Because again, having friends at work is great, but friends don't pay your bills, let's be honest. So you want to make sure you actually are friends with your managers that can upgrade you and promote you. And step by step, you can climb the corporate ladder. And then boom, before you know it, you're up here and you're actually getting paid a ton of money. And you just started off with a little minimum wage job. I think people that can go from a clerk to a regional manager and beyond and beyond and beyond. By the way, I think the guy that worked at Cheetos, he was actually started off as a janitor, and then he climbed by inventing Cheetos, obviously, to the CEO of the entire company. So that's not that bad at all. So always think about the corporate structure, how to climb it, and how to get to the top. And how to get to the top, not to top. Okay? Now, step number 3, guys. If you want to be a little sneaky here and there, this step is for you. Now, here it is, guys. There's certain companies out there that when they hire you and after 6 months, they will actually pay for your education, for you to actually go to college and get a degree in whatever you want or whatever is concurrent together, makes sense with the company. That way you earn your degree, you can stay in the company, and step by step you can keep growing in the company and climb that corporate ladder, okay? So the third step is actually action about the entire education fund. If they actually cover your education, and that we can go to college on their dollar, and then you graduate. If you want to stay, you stay. If you don't, they can't take away your degree. You can go somewhere else and actually use a degree to stop making minimum wage. For example, step number 1, guys, okay? Exercise number 1. You want to find out exactly what companies these are. And for example, right now, currently, I know about Starbucks and also Chipotle. They cover and help you with your school, and that way you can actually go to college while you're at Chipotle or Starbucks, get your education for free, and then guess what? You graduate, you quit the job if you want to, or you stay there and actually get a raise, okay? That is awesome if you ask me. Usually, you have a entire period. It's kind of like, you have to do 6 months first, and then you can qualify to get it, but that's not that bad at all for a free education if you ask me. By the way, you are getting paid while going to college, and it's also free. So to me, it sounds like a very, very sweet deal. Okay, so once you get hired, you're good to go. Now, on top of that, guys, the ultimate tip is this, guys. Don't overthink the company. Just go out there, find a job you kind of like, do that job, go to school, go for free, then graduate, and then boom, 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 you're done with minimum wage. Now, number 4, guys, it's all about acquiring a certificate or a degree while working a full-time job. Now, I know there's one person that I won't mention their name, but this person right here, okay, I met them at the gym, okay? They go to the gym, they're actually a nurse, a manager at a juice bar, and on top of that, they're a full-time student studying for accounting. So that's already 4 things. So for example, this person is taking care of their entire lives and also even trying to get a degree while working 2 separate jobs, almost full time, and still make time to go out there and get a degree to actually upgrade step by step. So for example, the number 4 step is actually by going out there and, working your full-time job, but also on the side trying to get a degree. So now, for this, you have 4 options, okay? You can go out there and you can actually get a certificate, usually 1 year to 2 years, or you can go to trade school, maybe like 2 years or so, or you can go to college for 2 to 4 years, maybe 6, maybe 8 if you want to, or number 4, you can self-educate yourself and teach yourself a skill and then go out there and do it and make more money. Okay, so the concept is, while you're working a full-time job, you want to go to school at night, whether it's online, not online, in public, private school, doesn't matter, but you want to make sure you're going to school, and that way you are upgrading your skills, and then you get paid more for your time, because now your time is worth more because you actually put in the work, which is always welcome when it comes to business and making more money. Oh, and before I forget, guys, make sure you pick a degree that is 1, marketable, and 2, you actually like, and 3, it actually makes you money. Don't try to go into plant psychology, okay, if it won't make you any money. Just make sure your degree is in demand, marketable, and it'll make you money. If it doesn't have all 3 of those things, just please stay away and do something on the side that actually involves that, because it doesn't make sense to go to college, get into like student loan debt, and the next thing you know, you're like, okay, I don't know how to give psychology to a plant and talk nice so it can actually grow. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so just pick a degree that makes sense and will actually make you money. It's a business, so make sure your degree makes you money. It is an investment. So now, number 5, guys, I want you, by the way, this is what I did. Okay, it was my favorite one, and it's actually going out of your way every time you get paid and taxing yourself 10 to 20%. Now tell me, what do you mean here? Well, every time I would get paid, I would tax myself between 10 to 20%, sometimes even more money. And I actually take that money, put it in savings accounts, and every 6 months or every year, I would come together and be like, okay, I'm gonna grab this money and I'm gonna invest it and put it to work in a business or, you know, in an investment fund, whatever I want to do, but this money is for growing my money. Now, the concept is, guys, once those 6 months come, before those 6 months come, well, I'm saving my money 10 to 20%. Well, for example, okay, if I am making every single week, okay, $500 a week, I'm saying like, okay, $500 a week. Well, every time I get paid, I'm going to take automatically 20%, $100, and I'm going to put it aside for 6 months or 1 year. Now, after 1 year, I should have saved up around $5,200. Now, while I'm saving up, I'm not just being like, okay, I'm just saving up here. When it comes, I'll put that money into the market or into a business. Boom, it fails. I don't know what to do. No. While this year is coming, I'm doing all the research to actually understand my business and what I want to get into and how it actually works. Okay, so when the time comes, I can get started and I'm good to go. By the way, usually the average side hustle or business, it will only take usually around $1,000. So it's not that bad at all. So for example, guys, you don't need $5,000. In reality, you only need $1,000. So for example, if you want to save this amount of money in 3 months, well, divide it by 3, okay, and divide it by 4 because you get paid usually every single week. Well, divided by 4, well, that's around, every week you have to save around $83. Not that bad if you ask me. Now, if you want to do bi-weekly, just times it by 2, means that every single bi-weekly you have to save around $167. And this is my favorite way, okay? Because when this was actually happening, I would take my money after 6 months, use that money to buy sneakers, buy phones, or start a business, and that way, step by step, my money kept growing over and over again. Now, a little tip here, guys, a little hint. Make sure the money that your money makes at this point, you keep grabbing it and investing it over and over and over and over again. Eventually, you can spend the money for whatever you want, but for the beginning, you want to make sure that money is just growing and growing and growing until you can quit that minimum wage job and not need it whatsoever anymore. So that's number 5. Is actually my favorite one. Now, number 6, though, is actually one of the toughest ones that most people out there probably won't do. I'll be honest with you, okay? Now, what is number 6? Well, number 6 is actually going out there and lowering your expenses and starting over from scratch. Now, here's what happens, guys. Usually, people graduate from high school, they get a job, they move out, they get into debt, it's a minimum wage job, and now they're kind of stuck. They have loans, they have debts, they don't know what to do. Well, the answer is they have a car, rent. The answer is you kind of have to take that to the chest and say like, hey, you know what? I messed up. What am I going to do? Well, the answer is you have to start over. Well, tell me, how do I do this? Well, the answer is you might have to go back to your parents' house. Sorry about that. You might have to stop using that car, return it, sell it, and ride the bus. you might have to cut off all your bills and just move back in with your parents and save up all that money and either go to school, get a degree that actually makes sense, or start a business from home, fail a few times, and then until it actually starts working, educate yourself step by step. And that way you start over from scratch, and when you actually come out of your parents' house, you actually come out better off and not just like, okay, what am I gonna do? Now I'm in credit card debt. By the way, make sure when you do this, use the bulk of your money to actually pay off your credit card debt and all that stuff. So then once you start fresh, guys, you start fresh. Now, tip, guys, okay? I don't want you guys to be embarrassed of this. By the way, I live with my parents right now, and I make a little bit. I say $10,000, but in reality, I make a little bit over $15,000 every single month, okay? And I live with my parents because when I move out, I want to make sure I move out to my own property, my own businesses, and I don't have to rely on rent, credit card debt, or student loan debt. I want to make sure when I walk out of here, I actually walk out with my two legs moving forward and not backwards. So just don't be embarrassed about that. Just make sure you are good to go, and that is great. There's no embarrassment when it comes to starting over, because if you start over, you're better off than staying in the same place and just like struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. Okay, now, by the way, guys, comment down below and let me know, did you like this video? Does it make sense? Are you going to try one, or are you going to try all of them? Are you going to quit your job or try to scale the ladder, move in with your parents again? What are you going to do? Comment down below. Let me know. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, like the video. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram, Tiny Bryson. And if you want to watch a video, for example, on the top hustles out there in the market currently, well, watch this video right here. It'll help you out a ton by giving you some ideas on what business to actually start. On top of that, if you want to subscribe to the channel right now, subscribe to the channel with my face right here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, thank you guys for watching, and peace.